My Hero Academia is a series that I love. I've rewatched it, reread it so many times. I promise y'all I'm not crazy. And the manga recently hit 400 chapters, which is still a fucking crazy milestone, man. So to celebrate that, I'm here to rank all the seasons of the My Hero Academia anime and ignore the manga entirely. Yeah. Also, I'm not counting the movies or any of the OVAs. That's probably for another time. And also, I'm not doing it arc by arc. I'll just play it out how the animation studio adapted them. I'll judge it by the story, the animation, and the moments of each anime. I'll probably rank each arc individually at another time, and I know people are going to be pissed at my rankings, so I'll just say this. I love the entire MHA anime. I don't hate or dislike really any seasons at all. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, here's me ranking every single season of My Hero Academia. At number 6, it's Season 1. I know everyone's already mad at me for not putting a certain season in last. Instead, it's the one that started it all. But hear me out. Hear me out. I got a reason. I still like this season of MHA. It did a great job introducing Deku as our main protagonist, immediately giving us his backstory and what he goes through. And I still love the second episode with that iconic scene when All Might tells Deku he can be a hero. That puts your boy into tears this very day, man. It does. It reminds me of the beginning of Naruto when we see what Naruto goes through in his daily life. And by the end, Naruto got to become the Genin he always wanted, proving others wrong. I love Naruto, so I just thought I'd mention it. I also like the introduction to Deku and Bakugo's rivalry, showing how these characters are and how they act, and wonder how much they'll change later in the future. It's a lot. This is showing their fight in the battle trial. I liked how Deku used his knowledge to win instead of just his power because he had a huge handicap with One For All. And honestly, I liked how many of the characters were introduced in this season. Uraraka is a really nice girl that's just there to be the more positive force for the series, especially later on. Ida seemed like the smart asshole type character, but nah, he's actually pretty goofy and really fun with how serious he is. God, I miss this trio so much. The introduction to Class 1A felt really natural. It felt like they all became actual friends in a class. Too bad half of them got fucking wasted, but hey, what can you do? And you can't talk about Season 1 without the iconic All Might vs. Nomu fight, and honestly best moment of the entire season. With all these good things, why is Season 1 in dead last? It's simple. This is only the sample of what we're getting in MHA. This is the shortest season of the anime, only covering 3 volumes of the manga, and later on the anime goes to much more amazing things. Season 1 walked so the rest of the seasons can just run. I still like it a lot, but it remains at the bottom. And number 5, ironically, Season 5. Oh lord. So hot take, I don't think Season 5 is that bad. I actually do like it a lot. But I see why some claim this to be the worst MHA season. I mean, they shortened and switched out the most anticipated arc at the time, the NVA arc. The reason why was because while this arc was publishing, many Japanese readers weren't the biggest fans of it. It led to theories saying that, oh, does Japan hate the MHA villains? And to that I say, no, they don't. Tomura, Dabi, Toga, and Twice are some of the most beloved villains there. Hell, Tomura and Toga rank high on the popularity polls. Dabi's dance blew up around the world twice, and Twice made onto the Hall of Fame in Season 6. So what's the problem? It's simple. I think Japan just didn't like the fact that the heroes and the main character were just gone for an entire arc in a story called My Hero Academia. And yeah, the anime suffered a lot from this, especially in the beginning with the rush start, cutting so much content that later got fixed in Season 6, but we'll get to that later. I thought the NVA anime was still decent enough. Yeah, the manga was obviously better, like no shit, but the anime wasn't bad. The Twice episode all the way to the ending is some of the best parts of MHA, especially Tomura's backstory episode, which is generally like top 5 best episode of the entire anime. His fight with Redestro was awesome, getting this iconic shot of Tomura, which was so cool to see. And Twice and Toga's backstories were done really well as well. The rest of the season was still solid in my opinion. Many people point to the joint training arc as the worst storyline in the entire season, but honestly, I really liked the joint training arc. I thought it was a lot of fun. Like, all the different fights of Class 1A and Class 1B were really cool to me. And it has some fucking nice animation, like, god God damn, I did not expect it to go that hard. We also got Shinto's appearance and a sneak peek of Black Whip, which is also great. So there were some good things in this arc. And I'm sort of nostalgic towards it because when I first got into MHA, this arc was still publishing, so it's got some nostalgia there for me. I also just love the Endeavor arc. Endeavor is one of my favorite characters in the entire series, so seeing his entire arc get animated was really cool. And it gave some great moments, and Fuyumi is a hottie. Like, I really love Fuyumi.
Shoto's older sister. It's nice to meet you. Thank you both for watching out for him.
Can you just fuck me down?
Yeah, the switch up was jarring and confusing, especially watching it weekly. And the Endeavor chair scene, which was fucking stupid. The goddamn filler episode with Uraraka and her group. Like, I love Uraraka, but this was too much for a whole damn episode. Yeah, it wasn't easy being an MHA fan back in 2021, guys. This season was still solid. I still enjoyed it. I liked it, and that's what matters. So it sits at number 5. At number 4, oh god, this is gonna make people so fucking pissed off at me. But you know what? I don't give a fuck. Yeah, it's season 2. Now hear me out. Yes, I know. This season is what blew up MHA into the mainstream. I get that. Hell, I still love this season. I just like the other 3 more. It's that simple. This season had the Sports Festival, which is still one of my favorite tournament arcs in Shonen, and I really like tournament arcs. It gave us Deku vs Todoroki, which is still one of the best fights in the entire anime. It still holds up so much. Todoroki's character shined a lot in this season with his pretty fucked up backstory. This, and again with his fight with Deku, made Todoroki a fan favorite. Hell, he was my favorite for a while until Deku became, the GOAT. Baku also stood out here, being determined to win the tournament. We see this in his fight with Uraraka, which just was an emotional hit, man. That hit me, bro. That hit me, and also gave Uraraka some great development. It introduced Mei, one of my favorite MHA girls. I also like how this season had Deku train more since the Sports Festival, since, he kinda broke his fingers so they were purple, so yeah, some nice progression to see Deku trying to control One For All, because that's not healthy. That's kind of fucked up. Even Ida got more screen time after Stain crippled his brother. Ida went off on a revenge journey to get back at Stain, but Deku and Todoroki decided to help him and remind him of what being Ingenio means, resulting in one of the best and most underrated fights in the entire anime that led to one of the most terrifying moments of the whole series. Wow, Stain is a psycho. But what holds this season back for me is the final exam arc. Look, it's not a bad arc, it just has the weaker points of the season for me, which sucked because this was the last bunch of episodes. The only things I liked here in this arc was the fight between Deku and Bakugo against All Might, where Bakugo tried his best Vegeta impression. Ayama trolling Uraraka about a crush on Deku, which is really funny and adorable. I even like Minetta's fight against Midnight. It was just so funny, and Minetta actually made me laugh in that moment. But a lot of the other fights in the exam just didn't interest me. That's honestly what holds the season down for me, just the final exams arc. But even with that, the rest of the season is still amazing. This is still a great season of MHA, just kinda fell back at the end. At number 3, ironically, it's season 3. This season is super nostalgic to me because when I first got to MHA, this season just started airing. And even with the nostalgia, this is still one of the best seasons of MHA, and honestly of modern anime period. First thing I gotta mention is All Might versus AFO. This fight absolutely broke the entire internet when it came out, and it's well deserved. This is still one of the best fights in the entirety of My Hero. So great that they're fighting again in the manga, and I love it. The other things I liked in this season was the Forest Camp arc. This arc, the tension felt so much more intense than USJ, since it's not just Deku on the line, but the entire class and Class 1B are at risk as well. I liked how we saw all of them defeating the villains and escaping. Kendo and Tetsu defeating this fucking fraud Mustard, Moonfish getting fucking washed by Tokoyami, Deku versus Muscular, which is still one of the best MHA fights. I know I've been saying that a lot, but it's just so good. The My Hero moment is still one of the most emotional and powerful writings in all of modern shonen. If you know, you know. Dabi, Toga, Twice, Compressed, they all appear in this arc and give amazing first impression of who they are and what they'll become later on. With all of this, why is season 3 only in 3rd place? Well, this. Yeah, this arc. Look, I don't hate the licensing exam arc like everyone else does. It has its highlights, but genuinely, it was just meh. The exam itself wasn't all that impressive. The newer characters weren't that good, they were just kind of there. Kirito Dekumoto over here barely does anything in this arc. He's introduced and his girlfriend is also just there. And Nasa, this like wind user that tried his best Syndrome impression and it didn't work. The best part about this last portion was the finale of Deku vs. Bakugo. I love this fight with all my passion. It's one of the best animated fights in the entire anime, and it has some of the best character moments for Bakugo. Season 3 is still fantastic, even with its flaws, so that's why it's here at, well, 3. And the runner-up, Season 4. I still don't get why Season 4 was so hated on when it first came out. Many complaints say that it was boring. Bro, the first arc of this season is about Deku and the other heroes breaking into the Yakuza who have quirks. That is literally the most awesome thing I have ever heard. Like, I remember manga readers were hyping this up, and this season delivered that. This introduced the big three who fell off a little bit, but hey, they were great here. Night Eye's interesting introduction, but led to one of the most emotional backstories and deaths in the entire series. And then there's Overall, who's one of my favorite antagonists in the series. He's got an amazing dynamic with both Deku and Tomer, the MC and the villain. He sort of was like another step for the both of them to conquer in order to reach their goals. And they did. Deku defeated Tomer in one of the best battles in the anime that broke the goddamn internet as well. Shit, more than Gear 5 did, that's for damn sure. And Tomer defeated him too by not only taking away his life's work, but destroying his arms, making him and his quirk now useless. And just, bro, this man is laughing at his misery like, Jesus Christ, Tomer is a fucking menace. Kirishima is also a treat in this arc. He's one of my favorite side characters, so seeing his backstory and him and Fat Gun being Rampa's ass was just nice to see, man. The next arc, the school festival arc, however, is when people call this season boring, but me personally, I loved this arc. It was nice seeing Class 1A actually do something as a class. After, you know, going through a whole fucking Yakuza mission, I think they deserve to have a chill moment here and there, you know? The whole part isn't even chill because Gentle Criminal, the antagonist of the arc, is gonna just break into the school and stream on Twitch about it. Hey man, you gotta get the subs, bro. I see the struggle, man.
NN.
Gentle surprisingly has one of the most depressing backstories of MHA, and ironically had a great fight against Deku, being one of Deku's most toughest opponents, both physically and mentally. And I can't move on without talking about Eri smiling at the concert. If you didn't tear up at this scene, you not human, bro. Speaking of the concert, it was great development for Jiro. As a Jiro fan, it's tough getting moments with her, but I'll take what I can get. With all of this, Season 4 was already a top tier season. That was until the season finale, which is the best season finale of the entire anime. Endeavor vs. High-End was not only some of the best animation in My Hero, but helped Endeavor's character become who he is now, the #1 hero. This fight helped Season 4 become the second best season of My Hero. And yes, #1 is Season 6. My favorite season of MHA is Season 6, the most recent season of MHA. It just did so many things right, man. Adapted the PLW arc to almost perfection. Almost. It showed Tomer and the other villains just how dangerous and built different they are. It even fixed many issues of Season 5, adapting the rest of MVA in a flashback. Trust me, it's handled a lot better than it sounds. This season also highlighted some of the best moments of the entire series. Deku vs. Tomer, while not being animated to perfection, was still a joy to see, especially when they entered the AFO world. Endeavor vs. Tomer was a visual treat, and Tomer pulled one of the most savage moves in the entire series. If you know, you know, like, look at this, he did Endeavor's pose, like, that's different levels of disrespect I've never seen before. Miracle being a badass, defeating all the Nomus, please marry me? I can go on how the first half of the season was perfect, but you get the idea. But the second half was equally amazing with the Villain Hunt arc. I don't care what anyone says, I loved this arc, both in the manga and the anime. It's got Deku's rematch against Muscular, Deku vs. Lei Nagant. Lei Nagant's whole character was just so well written. Deku vs. Class 1A, which so makes me cry this very day, along with Bakugo's apology. Uraraka's speech that also made me cry. Whenever I think about My Hero, Season 6 is what comes to mind for me, because it captures what MHA is and what story Horikoshi is telling, with the best fights, moments, animation, and music in the whole anime. It truly just gave me the feeling I had back in 2018 when I first watched My Hero and fell in love with it. And that's what put me back into anime that first time watching it. So I'll always love this season no matter what. And honestly, after season 5 and what was going on in the manga at the time, this season saved our community, especially us Deku fans. Jesus Christ, you took forever to come back, man! But yeah, that's me ranking all of the MHA seasons. I'll probably do a remake of it when the series ends and probably rank the arcs individually one day. I'll definitely be talking about other anime seasons as well. So thanks y'all for watching, and also big thanks for 500 subscribers. I know most YouTubers just shit that out on a regular Tuesday night, but this meant a lot to me, and I'm glad I made y'all entertained enough to keep watching. Anyways, like and subscribe, follow your boy on Twitter, and I am out of here. I just hope I can get this video out soon, bro, because damn.
Hey.